Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time, we're going to take a look at this little treasure I found at the flea market yesterday. This is Lion Annual 1958. And this is a British comic. It's not all comic, though. Publication from 1958. Just a little over a year, about a year and a half from before I was born. So it's old. And I got it relatively inexpensively. It's damaged. I got it from a little memorabilia shop at the flea market. And these kind of books I've covered a couple times before, primarily a Tarzan one like this, and also the one on the animated Dungeons and Dragons. So I have a few others I haven't shown yet, but these are all from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So this is the oldest one that I've gotten. And I want to tell you that Lion, the comics, Lion, it was a British weekly comics magazine, which was published by Amalgamated Press, which was later known as Fleetway Publications. And it ran from 1952 to 1974. And Lion was a boys' adventure comic designed to compete with Eagle, which was a popular weekly comic from Holton Press. And that one had featured Dan Dare. And Lion introduced several characters, most of which would be unknown to y'all, such as Captain Condor, Robot Archie, that's not the redheaded kid from Riverdale, Robot Archie, and the Spider, among others. And it ran for 1,156 issues before it was combined into another publication. And I've got a comic book from the 80s that I plan on showing sometime, which featured this Captain Condor character, and he appears in here as well. And we're going to take a look at it. But before we do that, I wanted to take just a moment, remind you, if you haven't got yours, it's available. My comic book, Bizarre Brain Comics Anthology, available on Amazon, $7.99. A little book, comic book, filled with some gags, humor, and some adventure stories. So then, let's go take a look inside the pages of Lion. Okay, and you can see this cover. Look, it's damaged. You can see how thick this is. It's a hardback, and this is an illustration from one of the stories. And this, I couldn't help but think this is looks like a progenitor of the walkers from Star Wars, the big things that look like elephants without trunks. And because this is obviously intended for juvenile audiences, explorers of this wonderful world. A little thing about that. I like this painted illustration. Midget Submarine Treasure Hunt. This is from one of the stories in there. I can't remember if that was a text or a comic story. Because you can see, or as you will see, it is not all comics. It is comics and text stories. And you can see this example of the artwork is very old-fashioned. And of course, this is from the 50s. I'll just skip through so you can see some of it. And Sergeant Samson of the Mounties. And it ranges from all over the world. Even that had some illustrations, nice illustrations. And that reminds me of pulp stories. Cowboy Dan and the Hunted Redskin. Ugh. That's not good. Look at the artwork, though. But that title, it's not good. Very old-fashioned, and it was obviously designed for black and white. But it's some nice artwork. So it has westerns in here. They have some stories that are in Australia. Here's White Boy, Chief of the Congo Pygmies. Oh, another one that's not good. No excuse. It's just an explanation. It's from the 50s. The Midget Submarine Treasure Hunt. That's what that one was for. That one illustration. Come on. And here we go. Prisoners of the Spaceways. This is Captain Condor. And again, this is very old-fashioned looking. This looks more like from the 40s than even from the 50s. This art style. But it's sure fun. Deserter Grant, hero of the Foreign Legion. Little factoids. Something about a talking dog. Here's this looks almost 19th century. The art in this one. But it looks like as I said, I haven't even had a chance to read these yet. But I wanted to briefly share it with you. Tarka, the Jungle Tech, and now that's supposed to it's a detective from what I gather in context. It's a boy who wants to be a boy detective because he's read detective stories. So, Lucky Chance, pilot of the Unarmed Raider. The aviation and war stories. Jeez. See, it's all kinds of adventure stories. Here. Another Western story. Whoops, another Western story. And here's another. Most of it's black and white, but you got 2 color stories in here. Judo outwits the witch doctor, something from the Southern Pacific or Indian Ocean. Islanders. Another Western. Swindler stole the town. Some more little factoids. Some about Inuits. See stuff from all over the world. Another diving thing. Never fool a circus strongman. I don't know what that's all about. And here's the one from Australia. Or Australian. The emu that rounded up bush rangers, because it's almost like a Western. And then ends up with more little factoids. And then that cover illustration is a wraparound. You can see that. And it's some nice painting. And it's just a real nice treasure and treasury of stuff from the UK. And so it looks like a lot of fun, and I look forward to reading those comics and the stories as well. And I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and do leave a comment. What do you think of this little treasure? And that sample of artwork. And do you own any similar type annual books like this, or other British comics that don't comport to American style comics? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for joining me. And remember, comics are art.